Okay, this is a try it again because the WWE, they looked at my video and decided that what was in it belonged to them. And they had YouTube block it for copyright. So I ran it through the editor, took their stuff out, and here is the redo. And something telling me that they're going to hit the other video too that I did the other day because I got some wrestling in that one too. And if that happens, I'll just do it over. Right? But anyway, here is the try it again. Okay, I'm going to try to recall this as best I can because it's been a few years since this started, so I know I'm going to get a thing or two wrong as far as time frame. Now, a dude named Clifton Rainey and another dude named Nutward, most people call him Styles though, they got into it on the Blog Talk show maybe 7-8 years ago, and it carried on over to YouTube with them going back and forth. And this went on for maybe 4 years. Now, in the middle of it was Mr. Mitty. In the middle, not because it started because of him or he was instigating or nothing like that, but in the middle because every few months Mr. Mitty would try to intervene and get those two to stop. Mitty tried just about everything to get them to chill, but and he even pulled the tribal card, like, hey man, we all from the same area. I think they all from Illinois. He pulled all that, right? But nothing worked. And after so many years of Cliff here and Mitty trying to intervene, Cliff had enough, and he finally responds to Mr. Mitty and tells Mr. Mitty to go fuck himself. Now, go fuck yourself wasn't Cliff's exact words. His exact words was, you don't tell me what the fuck to do. And to me, that means go fuck yourself. That means fuck off, mind your own business. I'm gonna do me and you need to do you. All that there means go fuck yourself. So Mitty responds to it, and me, I'm expecting some for real return fire from Mitty.
Wrong.
I did. I expected Mr. Mitty was going to open up a serious can of whoop ass on Cliff, but Mitty didn't even cuss in his response. I don't even remember him even raising his voice as a typical Mr. Mitty would do, or as I expected, but I was wrong. He bowed out gracefully and said, all right, you two just have at it then. Right, and that took years to happen. Then, maybe a year after that, here they are.
Exactly. What's up? What's up?
Oh, here we go. There goes Styles. Finally. All right. He got one leg. Where's his hands up?
Clifton and Styles meet up to fight. You'll see Styles creep over and destroy Cliff's camera. But they did fight. All right. And Mitty said that was going to happen because he knew that both of them was hotheads and they were just a short drive away from each other. And I bring that all up to say, with Mitty and Cliff and Nutward and them, I bring it up to say that is an example of why out of all the squabbles I see on here, I'll only try to intervene maybe once or twice a year, 3 times tops. Right? And this is not me suggesting that everyone should just mind their own business. If you feel you could break up a fight or you feel you need to break up a fight, go ahead and do that. But I'm just talking about what I know better than to do. Certain fights on here, tell you the truth, I hate to see. Like when the Viper Pit broke up with Danini and Warren and Bomb Cherry, I didn't like that. Right, that was the last time I tried to intervene in the fight, and that was over a year ago. Right, that was ridiculous to fall out over something silly like that. Right? Y'all don't met up with each other in person, went out on the town with your husbands, even went to the funeral of Bomb Cherry's mother, but y'all fall out over some silly. I didn't like that. Other fights though, I be wanting people to bust each other's heads open to the white meat. Right? And to the white meat, sometimes it's because I don't like none of the parties involved in. Sometimes it has nothing to do with if I care for either party or not. Sometimes it's just for the sport of it, like watching boxing or me watching NFL's hardest hits.
With the first down and a titanic collision at about the 12 or 13 yard line. Ray Lewis.
Human beings, we enjoy combat. Another reason I enjoy the fighting, and not all of it. I don't enjoy all the fighting because often I see people go too far for my taste. But another reason is because I prefer the fighting. And not strictly for the purposes of entertainment either. How I see us. Right, and I said us. I said us. What does us mean? Well, us means me too. Right, a lot of people got a problem with the us thing, the we thing. A lot of people got too much y'all and they die. Y'all this, y'all that. But how I see us behaving. Could somebody tell me, why would I want him to say something about stuff? I hear people crying about how we don't talk about stuff that matters. But this is us right here. This is how we behave. And I would be like, when people say, man, we need to talk about more important matters, I'd be like, what? Why would you want to hear what she got to say about stuff that matters? Are y'all sure you want people to focus on important matters? I ask because what would you expect to come forth from the mouths of those who you see as miscreants, huh?
Doctor of Thinkology. The sum of the square roots of any two sides of an isosceles triangle is equal to the square root of the remaining side. Oh, joy! Rapture! I've got a brain!
What do you expect? While you're asking for people to stop playing and get serious, what do you expect? What would you expect? Again, when you're describing people as degenerates and riffraff or the dregs of society, what the hell is wrong with you to want the people you're talking about to focus on real stuff? What do you think you would hear? Kyrie Irving. Remember, he got in a bit of trouble for refusing to take the vaccine. Then a while later, not too long ago, he got in some more trouble when he either, I forgot exactly what he did. He either said something about the Jews, or I think he retweeted something that was about the Jews. I can't remember, but whatever happened, his livelihood was in jeopardy because of it. And about a week into it, he put out a post and said, hey, I don't want nothing to do with what y'all doing. I'm trying to save myself here, but y'all making the spot hot for a nigga. Right, now that's not what he said verbatim, but that's what he meant. He said, y'all niggas need to stay all the way the fuck away from my struggle. Y'all making it bad for me out here when I'm trying to get up. And he was talking to black people who was in defense of him, but only made things worse for him because they were being reckless and just plain old stupid. And I see that all the time when folks weigh in on social matters. They just make a complete mess out of the matter. So me, I'd prefer that people fight each other instead. About once or twice a year. 3 times tops. You know, in order for me to do this, I'm going to have to pretend that I don't know what time it is. Right? I'm going to have to go into a self-induced state of naivete. Be gullible and act like I don't know that conversation amounts to currency on here. And when I say currency, I'm not just talking about money. You hang around each other too much. And I've talked about this more than a few times before. You hang around each other too much. A lot of the beefs on here, especially the ones that get way out of control, like the fight I saw the other day with LA and Mike Mills, much of this stuff on here, it wouldn't happen if you hear me when I tell you that you hang around each other too much. Okay? And hanging around each other, listen to this, listen. Hanging around each other too much does include watching each other. Right? And I understand not every situation can be remedied by simply not watching, but goddamn it, a lot of it can. You goddamn well can remedy a whole bunch of this stuff on here if you just wasn't watching. Now, this is me intervening in conflict. Stop hanging around each other so much. Some problems are solved very easily. This cat. This cat is for a specific kind of clown. What is this cat doing? Right? It never mind the obvious answer because of course it's hunting, it's stalking. But what is it doing? You guessed it, hanging around. This cat right here is for the clown who likes to pretend that they're not about engaging in the delinquent behavior that the rest of us, engage in on here. They figured that because they're on panels and chat rooms arguing and fussing with people, that they're not hanging out there. The clown would tell themselves that hanging out could only mean that you like the people that's there. But I'm saying that it is still hanging out. Just like predators hang out on these trails. Prey walks these trails and hunters be right there at the bushes or in the tall grass doing what? Doing what until they get there? Hanging out. So it don't matter if you're hanging out in like or dislike, because both contribute to the overall septic tank that is sometimes referred to as the black sector or the chitlet circuit or black YouTube or the Section 8 housing sector or whatever. About 2 months ago, I heard a lady say, "I descend from the heavens to engage with the mere mortals." This was her way to escape from the many, many people who I've heard asking her, "If you're so classy, then why are you always here in the gutter with the rest of us?" It's because she descends from the heavens, she said, after months and months of people asking her, why is she there? Still feeling that she's on a cloud, to describe it as she's there because she descends from the heavens. There's a lot of people on here like her. And I reference that because some people actually feel that if they can explain to you or tell you why they engage in ill behavior and socialize with those who they see as degenerates, they figure that it means that they're not doing it. They feel that if they can give you a good reason, then it's supposed to mean that they're different from the people who they'll describe as maybe low IQ or bottom of the barrel. Some people actually feel that if they're not as bad as this person or that person, then it makes them not bad at all or not part of the problem. Like, oh, you think I'm bad? But look at him. Look at what she did. I ain't never done nothing like that. This is how they get out of it, or try to. It's all kind of factors that contribute to the complaints people have, right? And look, I'm not talking about just complaining. Because listen, we complain about each other all the time. So I'm not talking about just complaining. I'm talking about the ones who complain as if they gotta be in the places that they complain about. Complain as if they have to associate with the ones that they're complaining about. I remember this vampire movie when I saw it, that I saw when I was a kid. I saw it on, I couldn't remember the name of it. I saw it on some of you older heads. You probably remember the Family Film Festival. But I couldn't remember the name of it. I eventually found it, right? It took me a while of searching. Took me a while. I almost gave up the search too. Then something said, put Vampire Hunter in there. Popped right up among a lot of other Vampire Hunter movies, right? But I found it. Now, the kind of people I'm talking about, people who think that they descend from the heavens or figure that if they can tell you why they did this or done that, them kind of people. A scene from this movie, the vampires had a ball, dressed up in costumes and everything. And the vampire hunter was there in disguise with two other people. Why are you here? The kind of people that I'm talking about must not realize that their actions and behaviors and associations cast a reflection, and some of us can see you.
Snatch the girl from them!